Hi guys, it's Meerkat here from the MotoMeerkat YouTube channel, and you're watching F1 Online Decoded.
Hi everyone, and welcome to episode number 4 of F1 Online Decoded. Now, today we've got a very special guest with us, a guest who we haven't yet collaborated with on our channel, and somebody who is making a lot of noise in the scene of F1 YouTube. He's got a really snazzy name and is one of the nicest guys on F1 YouTube. It is, of course, MotoMeerkat, or Sir Meerkat. Now, Meerkat has got a very interesting backstory. We also delve into how he got into Formula 1, as well as other things that he gets up to when he's not doing YouTube, Formula 1, or anything else like that. We hope you enjoy this podcast and hope you get to know more about him. So Meerkat, thank you so much for taking some of your time out to talk to us today. Really am looking forward to talking to you, getting to know a bit more about you as well. You're quite new to the scene of YouTube. First of all, how are you doing? Are you okay?
Hello mate, thank you very much for having me on the F1 Debate Show YouTube channel. Yeah, I'm doing fantastic today, mate. Having a pretty chill day, just chilling inside because of quarantine as usual. But yeah, it's all good.
Yep, there's not much to do, is there? So I think it is now a perfect time to kind of sit down, have a bit of a chat for an hour or so, just laid back and chilled, and hopefully everyone listening does enjoy it as well. So really, let's kick things off with the baseline of what we do on YouTube, which is of course Formula 1. I love it, Lyle loves it, and of course you love it as well, Meerkat, don't you? Well, I'm assuming you do anyway. You might not.
Absolutely,
it might just be
like
excellent. So what's your story in terms of how you got into Formula 1? Was it like a family member, or did you just stumble across it, or tell us how you got into the sport?
Yeah, so it was definitely through my family that I got into Formula 1. So my dad's been racing this car called a Caterham. I'm not sure if people have heard it. People have heard of the Caterham F1 team, but specifically Caterham 7s. He's done that since before I was even born. So I was brought up, really, we used to travel around loads of tracks in the UK and across Europe with him racing. So practically every weekend, after school on Friday, we'd go off to some track like Spa or Monza or something, and then I'd get back on the Sunday and go back to school on the Monday. So I was brought up around all motor racing and everything like that. And I remember as a kid being sat in front of the huge box of a TV watching F1, and I remember I used to love Michael Schumacher, because obviously when you're a child you naturally want to love the winner. Obviously that's the only person you really care about. But I felt quite out of place in my family for a few years because I just didn't really get it. I didn't really get racing, and I just wasn't really sure of myself. But it was once I started driving myself, like on the road, I started really, really enjoying driving, and I got more into F1, and especially joining the motorsport club at my university. That really, really helped me surround myself with other people who were like-minded. So yeah, that's sort of how I got into it.
Yeah, good story, good backstory. So would you say Schumacher is like a driver that would you say is like your favorite driver ever, or do you have like a favorite driver that you follow on the grid now?
I definitely wouldn't say he's my favourite driver ever. I think just because at that sort of young age, I really looked up to him, and I have to still say now, he is absolutely fantastic and definitely one of the best drivers ever. But some things he did were a little sketchy and sort of put him down in my books a little bit. Of best driver ever, that's a big question, and I'm not sure I could answer it. But my favourite drivers on the grid today, I really, really like Alex Albon. I'd probably say he's my favourite, just because he's such a lovely bloke, really. And he's probably, although I wouldn't say I'd cheer for anyone, if I had to choose someone, I'd probably pick him.
Good choice. Yeah, I've got a little thing for Albon. Yeah, I really do. But
he's just so lovely.
To be fair, he is, isn't he? Just a likeable character. I think all the young guns coming through now, the likes of Russell, Norris, and even Charles and Max, they've got like a real sense of community, if you know what I mean, like a good friendship between all of them, like rivals on track. But then you've seen like Lando and Max kind of race together. Then like Lando bringing George up and Alex up as well when he was doing his streams. It's a proper nice little community that they've got going. And of course they did all race together in the lower juniors as well. Kind of like an insight as to what racing racing used to be like back in the 60s and stuff, when there was a big, really big community, like rivals on track but friends off track. Like, we haven't seen that in a while, but
it's genuinely genuinely just like their best mates just racing. It's not like they're at the pinnacle of bloody motorsport as a whole. They're just mates going down the track on the Sunday and just kicking it about. It's great to watch.
It is amazing. It really is. The future is definitely bright for Formula One. So, like, kind of like last question on like Formula One based. Is there a favourite race or like a memorable race that you have? Like, you know, growing up watching Formula One, like, you know, you have like your typical answers of favourite Grand Prix. 2011 Canada being, of course, one of them. But is there a race that like kind of stands out that isn't necessarily a classic, but it's a classic in your eyes?
I can't say there really is. The only one I was going to say was Canada 2011, to be honest. That's the only one I can
You could have said it as well. Yeah, you are allowed to say it. I'm just using it as an example.
Yeah. No, I probably would have to say that one. I really, really remember watching Jenson Button coming from the back and just thinking, wow, this is amazing at that age. But other than that, no, I can't say I do.
Right, so moving away from Formula One, how you kind of got into it to obviously what we are listening to now, which is YouTube. So what made you want to start a YouTube channel? And yeah, did you have any influences, of course? I mean, in terms of all the kind of YouTubers that we've talked to, you're one of the most recent. Did you watch anyone before? I mean, it doesn't have to be us, don't feel pressured to say us, but yeah. Any influences, and of course, yeah, just how did you get into YouTube, and then obviously what keeps you creating videos on your MotoMeerkat channel?
Yeah, I am relatively new on this channel, but I've actually been making YouTube videos since I was about 13. So I'm 20 now, so about that's like 6-7 years. But these are obviously on many different YouTube channels, and a lot of those videos are now deleted because as I grew up, like 2 or 3 years, I would look back on them and go, "Oh Jesus Christ," and just delete them. I did not want anyone to see babyface me just chatting away about random stuff. But now I sort of regret that I've deleted that because I could have really used that for content. That would have been hilarious. But anyway, hey ho, it's whatever. But yeah, I would find I have quite an addictive personality, so I get addicted to something and I would enjoy making videos on it and then I'd move on. So what proper got me into watching YouTube and wanting to make content myself was the YouTube vlogger scene of like, what would that have been, 2013 to 2015, of like Thatcher Joe and Casper Lee and Zoella and all of that lot. I actually went to Joe and Casper made a movie and I went to the premiere, and I've still got this signed thing in my garage from them, which is quite nice to look back on. But yeah, that's probably how I really got into it. But actually doing Formula One content, before I created my channel for about 2 months before, I was thinking, I want to make content on this, but I sort of was honing in exactly what I wanted to do and how I wanted to sort of make my niche as such. And I was watching loads of people like F1 Word, Aldas, all people like that. I got into Tomo F1 just before I started making videos and became good friends with him. And yeah, I've just talked to so many people, and it's just been great getting into this community. I really like everyone in here.
Yeah, definitely. So kind of going to the younger videos that you made. What were they? What did you talk about? You said random stuff, and of course it is quite cringy, especially at those. I'll tell you what. Now we have this thing called TikTok for some reason. Where all the little kids play on it. So I guess YouTube was our version of that. What videos did you make on there? What did you kind of talk about? And then why did you delete them? Of course, yeah, you're right. I mean, if you kept them, it would be good to look back on them. But why did you delete them? Why was babyface you so bad, I guess?
Well, don't even get me started on TikTok. I cannot understand that app at all. I just don't get it at all, so don't get me started. But yeah, for my younger videos, so as I was saying about the vlogger scene, I really wanted to be like best mates with all of them. So basically I just made the content that they were making, so just doing like tags and like stuff like that, and just being like overly happy in front of the camera, and just looking back on it now, I was so clearly acting, and it was so awful. I remember I made a video once where I was trying different types of milk, and then
there's different. Whoa. Just stop there. There's different types of milk. I thought there was only one type of milk, and it was called milk.
At the end of the video, because I didn't guess enough of them correctly, I poured them all into a bucket, and then I poured the bucket over myself when I was practically naked in my garden. It's so bad.
So like, that was like Jesus. So that was like the equivalent of the ice bucket challenge. You were doing the milk challenge, and were you on your own at this point? Because I mean, if you were on your own doing this, I'm going to lean to it's a little bit sad.
Yeah, mate, I was alone.
Oh well. I mean, we all learn, I guess, but I mean, if we ever found that, because, you know, they say once something's on the internet, it's never gone. So if we ever find that, oh my god, we're going to have your life.
Really
I mean,
no one ever finds that.
but that sounded absolutely amazing. And obviously glad you're on YouTube now, you know, with kind of a more mature, would you say it's a mature channel? Of course, I mean, you've definitely grown from that, but would you say it's a mature channel and kind of moving in the right direction?
Yeah, I would definitely say it's more mature than that. But I think I am definitely moving in the right direction. When I started off my channel a couple of months ago, although I had thought about my niche a lot more, as I'm now starting to make videos and explore, and I'm seeing what people do and don't like corresponding with views and likes and all of that, I do think I'm meandering my way into finding my own little spot. And I think my videos are what's the word for it? Relatively. Oh goodness, I've completely lost the word that you used. I've matured.
Yeah, matured, definitely. Yeah, definitely sounds good. We enjoy your YouTube channel, of course. Hopefully it can grow as well. We'll get onto that in a little bit. But yeah, obviously you've got a kind of good start, and we'll see what happens in the future.
Thank you very much. Yeah, hopefully I continue to grow in the future, and my channel doesn't start to bomb. But we'll have to see.
Yeah, we certainly will. So, of course, just touching on there about YouTube channel as well, it's called MotoMeerkat. So, 2 questions here, really. So, the first one is, why MotoMeerkat? Why the name Meerkat for your channel? And, of course, Sir Meerkat, like you introduced the episode with. And what's your real name for those who don't know what you call Meerkat, so they won't know your real name. So, what is your real name?
My real name is actually John, so not a particularly incredible name, pretty bog standard. I realised that the other day I was talking to someone that I was going to make a video with, and they were like, wait, I actually don't know your name and we're about to record. I was like, oh yeah, no, I've never really told anyone that. Just John. That's actually what my channel used to be called, was Just John. Because people used to call me Jonathan. So I was like, no, it's just John. So yeah, that was a good thought behind that one. But MotoMeerkat had a lot less thought process into it. I have another channel that I called Moto Rat, because my last name starts with the word rat. I wanted to create this other channel. I was thinking about it, and I liked keeping the moto bit because it's like mini moto, motorbikes. And originally I played with the idea of it being Moto Mongoose. So really, really random. Really random. I just thought mongoose were really cute. But I thought it was a little bit too hard to spell, and not many people actually would know what a mongoose is, maybe. So I thought I'll change it to meerkat. They're still pretty cute as well. I like meerkats. And I was thinking I could think of some good designs and stuff involving meerkats. So I don't know, I just went with that. I wasn't really.
I just think it was a really random name, if I'm totally honest. Like when I first came across your channel, I was just like, MotoMeerkat. Like, that's a bit of a random name. Yeah, I was just about to say as well, like, obviously you pretty much answered it, but I was going to say, like, do you actually like meerkats? who doesn't
I love meerkats.
To be fair, I think this is the first ever time we'll ever have a meerkat on our channel. But if you could like create like never say never. MotoMeerkat the second or MotoMeerkat the third, who knows? Let's see how it goes.
I had a meerkat boot when I was in year 8.
Maybe you'll bring some meerkats in for a video someday.
I had a meerkat boot when I was in year 8.
Maybe when we get like a budget or something, we can spend it all on meerkats. So next time you come on, just have it like little meerkats. Hi guys, welcome to today's episode. You little get away. But actually, this is audio only, so who knows? There might be meerkats among us. They're not going to know. They're not going to know, are they? So if you could,
I think as they became more famous on the Compare the Meerkat adverts, definitely. I had a book about them in year 8, so I was reading about meerkats back then. So maybe it was more Meerkat himself.
Maybe, just maybe.
Maybe.
But if you could, like, let's say, like, let's hope this never happens, but let's just say on a random other time during the day, your channel gets taken away and you can't call your name Meerkat, it's been copyrighted or anything like that. That's just ridiculous. And you had to come back and rebrand your channel. What would you call it?
Oh my god, that's such a difficult question.
We didn't put this question to you because we normally, if anyone's wondering, we normally send the questions to our guests first. But we normally threw in a couple of curveballs in here just to, keep them on the toes.
Especially the fan questions. The fan questions are never revealed until the end, so that's when they definitely, and obviously the quickfire questions and stuff that we'll have towards the end. But you've got to think on the feet, man. To think about what sometimes the kind of answer with on the feet is just absolutely incredible.
So what would you call your channel if you had to do it all again?
Yeah, I'm absolutely terrible at thinking on my feet. That's why I've written down about 3 pages of notes for this video, just so I don't mess everything up.
3 pages? I don't think we've ever written 3 pages in the 4 years we've been making this channel. I've written them. I think I could probably make about 2 pages out of it, but 3.
That's too much for us.
Yeah, see, doing a journalism degree, I'm used to writing like 10 pages to submit, so 2 is barely anything to me. But oh god, I'm really just stalling now.
Even just funnier and random, just think whatever. It doesn't have to be sensible. It can be something really ridiculous, whatever you want.
Well, I mean, my nickname is Ratters because my last name has rat in it. So possibly something along that line, or my Xbox gamer tag is Young Rat. So
Young Rat.
Maybe that. Maybe Young Rat
Racing. That's got a good ring to it. That.
There you go. Maybe that'll be my second channel.
You heard it here first.
If you ever went into the food industry, it'd be Ratatouille.
Little.
Ding, ding, come on, that's funny. There was a bit of a delay on the laughs there.
He's writing all these down, He likes his notes. He's writing all these down.
I'm searching
on that now. I can never use it.
That's truly awesome.
No, that's good.
And Meerkat, also as well, you said you like writing. Well, can you write my 10,000 word dissertation then, please? Because I'm really struggling with that, especially in these days.
No way am I going anywhere near a dissertation.
It's on the airline industry, so that might be quite hard, especially what's happening at the moment. Anyways, moving on from that, of course, back to you. So your channel. Now, as we've just said, you only set up a few months ago, of course. But you have a good grounding at the moment. Of course, recording this a few weeks ahead of time, so we don't know what subscribers you're on, but you are making a very good progress, much better than we did back in the day. So, what is your plans for the future? What's your plans with the channel, and how do you intend to grow? Of course, we've just seen that again as we're recording this. You have a video planned with Tom F1. So, what's your plans for the future? How could you better your channel? How could you better yourself in terms of your knowledge of Formula 1? What are the plans for MotoMeerkat on YouTube?
Big question. Yeah, as you said, I've got a video with Tomo coming out, well, tonight as we record this, but obviously it's going to be up a bit later, so it'll definitely be on my channel now if you want to go below and check that out. But in regards to my channel, the sky's the limit, really. I just want to keep making videos and just keep making stuff that I enjoy and that people interact with and have a good time watching. But what I've mostly learned with my many years of watching YouTube is a lot of the most fun content for when you're making content and for fans watching is when you're making it with other people, often other YouTubers like we're doing right now. So just doing more and more collabs, because I noticed, especially when I came into the F1 community, people were making fantastic videos, but there's very little overlap of when people make videos with others, or say there's a lot of longer videos like we're doing right now, so sort of podcast type chatty stuff, but not a huge amount of in real life interaction. So I want to in the future do maybe series together, like quiz series, or do some karting content where we get people together and just have a race and have a good time. But if my channel stays stagnant, I'd be unhappy, and I'd plan for ways to get better. but I still continue to post like whatever happens because I just enjoy it for myself. And I'm studying for journalism degree at uni, so even if the YouTube doesn't work out, which would be heartbreaking, but it's sort of similar to the area I want to go into anyway, of sort of motorsport journalism. So I continue to make stuff and just keep enjoying myself and see what happens, really.
Yeah, definitely sounds good. Obviously, working with Tom F1, a lot more collaborations kind of to think of. Again, don't really want to put a timestamp on it because it's a few weeks. Obviously, we're recording this a few weeks beforehand, but we recorded a podcast, stupid little podcast. Obviously, all of us, and yeah, just kind of working it all together. So, in terms of the YouTubers that you yet haven't worked with, what are the YouTubers, or if you had to say one YouTuber that you would really love to work with? And again, this doesn't have to be a Formula One YouTuber. Who would you want to work with? I mean, in terms of your answer, you're going to say something, quite sensible, like you possibly might do, or something ridiculous, like I want to work with PewDiePie.
Yeah. If I say my unrealistic one, it probably would be PewDiePie, to be honest. Because obviously I'd get quite a few subscribers off that, so I wouldn't mind. But of actual genuine collaboration, I'd probably like to do something with or on the WTF1 channel, sort of like with Matt Gallagher and that sort of lot, because I've looked up to them and watched their videos for a couple of years now, and they were probably the main catalyst for wanting to make Formula One content, and I just respect Matt as a bloke, and I think he's a really good presenter, and I think we could be good mates, so I don't know, I think that'd be great.
Yeah, definitely sounds good. And kind of one other question that I thought of in terms of this. So let's create let's say that you're going to go to the next Grand Prix, whenever that is. Might even be 2021. We don't know how the situation is playing out. So you go to Grand Prix, and Matt's there, and you meet up. You meet each other in the burger stalls at Silverstone or whatever.
Robin Gitt.
And you've got a camera with you. You both got microphones on, and you're ready to go. He has a spare half an hour or whatever. What would you do with him at that moment? So you're standing at Silverstone, no action's going on for another hour. You're both mic'd up, you're both hyped up. What do you do?
Oh, you put me on the spot with a video night here. I reckon being at Silverstone, you've got to do something with fans, and also doing stuff with fans and engaging with that gets you content that they want to engage with online as well. So I'd probably say mic us both up, go for fan interviews, and maybe sort of a fan quiz, and put Matt up against some fans and see how they do. I think that could be quite a good idea.
Does sound like a good idea.
Yeah,
but adding on to that, I actually had last time I went to the Silverstone Grand Prix last year, but I only went to the qualifying, and I saw Arava. And I think he was hanging out with a couple other people, but I didn't see them. And I walked past him, and I completely bottled it. I really wanted to go and take a photo with him, but I was like, no, I'm too scared, and I walked off. And I regret it very hard. So, Arava, if you're listening to this, can I have a selfie, please?
Well, there we go, Arava, send him a selfie. Well, actually, just, me and Jordan, obviously, last year when we went to Silverstone, we met two big YouTubers in Benjamin Daly, Tiamat Marduk, and Aldas.
We also met Matt Gallagher. We got a picture with him.
Oh yes, that's right. Yeah, but
Sorry.
he was more of but they were more of meets. But I remember those two, just getting on with the normal business. And again, I would say for me, we were kind of in that stage. And now I actually saw Ben first. I didn't say let's not go to him because I'm too nervous, but Jordan saw Ben first. I saw Arava first, and I was kind of like, oh, let's just leave him. I don't want to bother him. So I gave it all to Jordan to go up to him and go, Arava.
Aldas.
No, I keep saying Arava, sorry, Aldas. We are the F1 debate show, and started the conversation because I was, it's not nervous. They're just people, but I know what you mean. It can be a little bit, it can throw you off
on
again.
Such a pedestal just because you've watched what they do online, so you're like, oh, they're so big. Whereas actually, they're just another bloke, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we were proper touched when we met them, especially Aldas, who gave us a shout out in his video afterwards. But yeah, they're just people at the end of the day, just real nice guys. But yeah, it was a real honour to meet them, just those two, and then of course obviously Jack Aiken and Matt Gallagher later on in that weekend.
We did meet some awesome people at Silverstone. Fingers crossed, everything goes well, and we can all hopefully go again and so hopefully see some more people. That'll be amazing. I'm gonna add a question on to what I was saying before about the whole collab interview with people. Obviously he mentioned YouTubers. I'm gonna bring in, if you had to pick one F1 driver to interview for your channel, out that's ever been in Formula One, who would it be and why?
Well, if it was just doing it on who I would like to interview, obviously I'm going to say Alex Albon, just because top banter and he's a lovely bloke. But I think you'd have to go with Lewis Hamilton if I got the pick of the full grid, just for his general reach of followers. And if you said Alex Albon to someone who doesn't know Formula One, they're going to go, who? Whereas if you say Lewis Hamilton, most people are going to go, oh yeah, that F1 driver, blah, blah, blah. So I think it would just, a lot more people would be able to watch and enjoy I think that's a really good choice. Really, really, of course, he's got a really good global audience as well. So moving away from YouTube and moving away from Formula One, when you're just chilling, having downtime, away from, like I say, there is no F1 going on, but away from YouTube and away from everything else, what do you like to get up to? Do you have any other hobbies or any other sports that you like watching? Maybe, I don't know, TV series or films that you like to watch? What do you get up to in your spare time? You've sent me through these questions before, and I've written not a lot. Of stuff that isn't to do with racing, really, as I said, from 13, I've been watching YouTube religiously every day. So I watch a lot of YouTube, but lots of different types of content and all that. I've got my simulator rig, so I race on iRacing and do a bit of that. But again, that's to do with motorsport as well. So for hobbies that aren't some sort of racing, I don't really have any. Recently I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty Warzone on Xbox because it's free and all my mates get on it, so that's great fun, especially in quarantine since we can't see each other, which is good. But apart from that, I can't lie, not a huge amount.
What about, do you not follow any other sports?
Not really. I'm not into football. I used to play FIFA a bit when I was younger, but I always wanted to get into football, but just never really did it for me. I quite enjoy American football. I used to love the NFL when I was a bit younger, but I've recently started watching the XFL. Now that's been made in the US, and I've been getting really into that, but it was a bit sad when they had to cancel the first season because of coronavirus. So I think watching a bit more of that and I could get properly into XFL. But again, that's very difficult. That's difficult because it's all on American TV and it doesn't have a license over here, so I have to just watch highlights, which is a bit rubbish. But Formula One's my sport, so I'm quite content with just watching that.
I'd imagine you would have seen F1 Drive to Survive, maybe, I'd imagine both seasons, kind of mixing in, F1 and a bit of Netflix, let's say, or whatever. I'd imagine that you have watched it, yeah?
Yes,
What's your overall verdict of it? I mean, to be fair, I think the first season it got a really good response, I believe. But the second season, there was a big divided opinion about it. Some people were saying, oh, it's really, really good, better than season one. And some people were saying, just doesn't cut it for me. I don't really enjoy it. I don't really want to see behind the scenes of this. And people were like, "Oh, it's not really for Formula One fans, and it's rubbish." And da. So, where do you stand with Drive to Survive?
I remember when the second series came out, there was a lot of arguing going on F1 Twitter about what people were thinking about it.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh yeah, there always is. So I just ignore it. But I really, really like it as an addition to Formula One media and such. I've got to agree, I don't think it's not made solely for Formula One fans, and I think that's why it turns off quite a few people. But I think you've got to look at it in a way of, it's on Netflix, a huge platform, and Netflix do push it quite a bit. I'm not sure if that's just because from the government watching me, they know I like motorsport. But even when I hadn't watched it, they got shown to me loads on Netflix. So it's pulling in people who have never seen Formula One before. And I think if a lot of people who didn't know Formula One just randomly tuned in, not having a clue what's going on, and watched a race weekend, they would be bored out of their mind, if I'm honest. Because the racing now, we don't get proper close racing, and like not hugely crazy stuff that is happening every single race. But Drive to Survive is able to do it in a way where you're looking behind the scenes and it's super interesting to us, but they also do it in a way where they're explaining smaller things that we would look at and go, well, yeah, that's obvious, but someone who doesn't know can then go, oh, okay, I understand that a bit more, and they can get into it. And yeah, I think it's definitely a positive.
I think one of the most, like, how to put it, like, dullest things for me is obviously when they're showing the dramatic events of a Grand Prix, a race. Now, that's more for the viewers who are interested in seeing the racing, because us as fans, we know the outcome, we know what happens. We know who wins the race. Like, for example, the Monaco Grand Prix, Verstappen was chasing down Hamilton. There was the whole dramatic music, you know, close-up cameras and back and forth shots of the garages, and it's like, who's going to win? And yet we're sitting there going, Lewis, we know who wins. But for those who don't follow Formula One, will have that kind of edge of their seat feeling of, oh, who is going to win? Like, and then you kind of go, well, if you like that, then you should watch a race live, and then that's how fans do get kind of hooked. Because I did see a couple of people who we do follow and that we do interact with on F1 Twitter. Obviously, I won't say any names, but they were slaying into that kind of thing, especially the Monaco one, and saying like, "Oh, this is absolutely rubbish. Like, like, why they're being so dramatic about this?" And it's like, well, it's not just for Formula One fans, is it?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I agree with you there, but I think that. I think that it needs to have that sort of, like, what's the word for it? Like, craziness to it, and just wanting to build up all that tension, because it is a show at the end of the day. It's wanting to move and change your emotions with how it builds up what's happening on track. And I think that's definitely necessary for the whole show to work. So anyone that's slating that, I think, is a bit silly.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite season? Is it 1 or is it 2? Because a lot of people actually say that 1 was better, but I mean I would say it really defines. 1 was more for Formula One fans, and 2 was a bit more Hollywood. So which one would you say was better? What series 1?
I definitely would have said series 1. Also, the fact of that
series
it
1,
was the first series and we hadn't seen anything like it before, and it was so like wow and new and something new to the motorsport media, as I said before. But I just enjoyed that one a lot more. And season 2, although I did enjoy it, I just don't think it was quite as good.
Yeah. And just one last thing from me, just to add on, because I know that Jordan won't be very happy with this, squeezing in another time. You mentioned XFL. Who is your favourite team in XFL?
Goodness. Again, similarly to Formula One, I don't know. I don't really pick a favourite. I just watch for the fun of the sport. But if I had to go with someone, I quite enjoyed the LA. I cannot remember what they're called, but the LA team. I remember they had one game where they absolutely trounced another team, and it was just beautiful to watch. So after that, I was like, okay, I like these guys.
Yeah. Can I just butt in with something here? What the hell is XFL? Because I don't know what it is. I was just about to say that, John. There might be some people like me, because I don't follow American football. I don't follow anything in the States. A bit of indie, but that's it. Can someone please explain?
Do you want to take that one more?
Yeah, sure, I'll take it. So, do you know what the NFL is, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so basically there was a league that was created by the guy who owns WWE in the 1990s to basically make NFL more of a spectacle. And he called it the XFL, and it failed pretty miserably. And they decided to bring it back this year under the same branding, but with slightly different rules. And it's basically just made NFL a bit better.
Right.
So if that makes any sense.
Nope, that makes total sense.
It's still not very good. I mean, NFL is still like the main one, but yeah, it's I guess you go by the NFL though, man. That's definitely the best. And who was your favorite NFL team when you were following that?
You're into NFL, so you're gonna hate me. I used to love the Patriots.
Oh, you
Tom Brady was amazing.
Yeah.
Well, now Tom Brady's left. You'll be going down to Florida, I imagine. Will you? You're a
I don't really follow
Brady
anymore. I heard through one of my mates that he was moving, and I was like, "What? No way!"
Yeah, Brady has gone to Tampa Bay. There's a lot of talk about the Brady bashes going down to Florida. But anyway, yes, going back to Formula One, of course, it's just nice to hear when someone mentions NFL. I go up like a meerkat. That's what I do, and I'm like,
I did see you suddenly perk up.
He does like is a NFL. I'll let you have this one, Lyle, because obviously we're in quarantine, and of course there'll be nothing, anything about NFL or any other sports for that matter. But next up, now this is like one of my favourite segments, and it's always a relief to say this, but we've got some fan questions, Meerkat. It's always...
Oh God, something I can't plan.
Yeah, exactly. But to be fair, we are yet to have a guest where we haven't had any questions, which is a relief. Because
for you, I was thinking because I'm a new member, I might not get any, but thank God.
It's just like, oh yeah, okay, next up, fan questions. We've got none. Moving on. But no, we have some, which is excellent. A guy actually sent in multiple questions, and I picked out two. I think one of them was kind of something that we've alluded to earlier in the episode. So of course, if you did ask that question, I hope one of the segments that we talked about did answer that question. So the first question is from AS19, and he says, "Are you happy at university?" Short and simple.
Yeah, firstly, shout out to AS19 Portsmouth. I know exactly who you're talking about. He's a good lad. I've talked to him a few times. Am I happy at university? That's a tough one. I think definitely, especially for where I'm wanting to move on to, having a uni degree in that field will definitely help. For my degree-wise, I am definitely enjoying it. But there's certain bits where I'm like, oh bloody hell, I didn't think this was going to be part of it. I thought they'd be more practical, but there's a lot more writing and just things like that. But overall, as a whole, I think university is one of the best things I've done in my life. Specifically for social side of it, meeting so many new people from so many new different places, and getting that independence from your parents is just amazing. Amazing. So I would definitely recommend going to uni if you've got the funds to do so. It's a fantastic addition to your life.
Yeah, good one. I mean, I never went to university. Lyle, of course, did. He did, and yeah, I think one thing that didn't, get my back up really was like, the work ethic and stuff. And plus, I'm not really into education or anything like that. I didn't want to go forth. But one thing I do like, and what I've seen as well more clearly when Lyle was at university, was the social side of things. And maybe if I did go to YouTube, if I did go to university, maybe I could have committed more to YouTube, because I feel like a lot more people who do YouTube came from university, because I had some spare time. But
Yeah, no, that is true.
Yep. Anyways,
sorry, you carry on.
Yes. So. Keep talking over. Yes. So the second question comes in from F1 Fanatics Mike, or Mike from F1 Fanatics, I should say. And he says he always writes long questions, Jordan. It's different to what you've just read out there. It's a long question. Longish. He says your channel is based on Formula One, but you do enjoy go-karting. What has been the best go-karting race you've done, and why?
I did see that you sent in this question. Thank you very much, Mike. My best one ever was probably, hopefully this will drum up a little bit of interest on my channel as well. I've got one more race for this season that I've just finished, and I reckon that's probably my best one. It was at a place called Glan y Goch in North Wales, so right up in the mountains, a beautiful track. And I started from, it wasn't my best qualifying in the dry. I am on the slightly heavier side, so I'm not too blessed in the dry. So I was starting about 15th, 14th or so out of 45 on the grid. And it was raining pretty heavily. And all I did was basically keep it on the track. And I managed to get up to 4th. So did very well for myself, and that in addition managed to get our team on the podium across all of the universities in the UK, so we came 3rd for that day, so that was fantastic, and I got a little medal, and that was great. So the video of that onboard will be out very soon on my channel.
That's good, and obviously it's great that your university does something like that. We don't. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why we don't have a racing team. I might have to look into that when I go back next year. But yeah, definitely.
What uni do you go to?
It's Buckinghamshire University, so just outside southeast Buckinghamshire, just outside.
I'm not sure
London.
if they do have a team. I would have to check that.
I know we do. We have a very small cohort, so in terms of like sports, we struggle with numbers kind of across the board. That was one of the reasons why our American football team kind of didn't, stand. Obviously, you need a lot of players, for that game, and yeah, we didn't have that. But yeah, I mean, anything like that would have been absolutely great. What uni do you go to?
So quite a large one.
Oh, that's why you're in Wales. Oh, okay, well, I mean, yeah, it definitely sounds good. So, how many people are on the team? Is it a popular
for the
one?
UKC? So you could definitely set it up for your uni. They'll as long as you can qualify, you're able to get in with 4 drivers. So that's all you need. But we've got about 45 in the society, and then we have 3 teams, so 12 drivers who actually race for the uni. And obviously I'm in the A team, not to big myself up, but yeah.
And in terms of the equipment, obviously you'll need a go-kart, and all of like your helmet and your race gear. Is that provided for you? Or?
Actually, you don't need a kart. So we race in the BUKC, which is the British Universities Karting Championship. We use the Club 100 karts. So they're all exactly the same and identical, and they are brought by the Club 100 boys to each circuit, and then we just turn up, jump in them and race round, and then leave at the end of the day for a very, very modest price. And they'll also provide suits and helmets and gloves and everything, so you literally don't need to have anything. You just turn up and race and have a good time for about 150 quid. So it's very, very good value.
Yeah, definitely will. I might have to look into that.
Definitely should, mate. I'd love to see you there at a race meeting.
I might have to do like a little dip into university. I think this sounds actually pretty good. I might just do a random course and just jump in the go-kart or something like that. That sounds awesome. Next question comes in from Daniel Philpott. Now, we've had some big questions on the F1 Online /YouTube Decoded episodes before. We had a really big question from Jack Chambers for the one of the last previous episodes that we did for late braking. I think it was how late do you brake, or how late should you brake, which is a very big question.
Oh, that was a minefield.
It was a
minefield.
However, Philpott, I think you might have topped this one. Now, this is a very, very important question. Are you ready?
Oh God, what is it?
Is he an actual meerkat? Now,
yeah, so the guy that I use in the videos isn't actually me. I am a meerkat. This is me coming out as a meerkat.
Exclusive.
We can put that in the title. We can say there's a big reveal in this episode.
Very surprised. Like, whoa!
Breaking news. Yeah, breaking news. Meerkat revealed.
That'd be good. That'd be a good intro for a video, because I'm pretty sure you can get like meerkat filters, aren't you? Kind of like on like Snapchat or Instagram or something.
Or maybe I should buy a meerkat mask or something. Just run around with that on.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. Sorted. So yeah, are you a real meerkat? Yes or no?
Sadly not.
Oh.
I wish I was, but no. If I was, I would not have opposable thumbs and would not be able to record videos.
So sorry, Dan. Sorry to disappoint you, Daniel, but he's not a meerkat.
Yeah, sorry, Dan, mate.
I just want to add something there. Back in the olden days, when like compare the meerkat and Alexander and all them were kind of taken up, I remember you could get this thing online where you could actually make your own meerkat, or it wasn't make your own meerkat, but it was like the meerkat, and like compare the meerkat advert, and you could like dress him up and put him in somewhere. I'll send you the link if I can find it. I just remember being in school and being on that, and the amount of hours that I wasted not listening to the teacher and being on that. But anyways,
that just shows how their marketing got
anyways,
in your head,
well, it did. I mean, as I said, I had that book, didn't I? Called The Symbol's Life. Oh, I don't think I've still got it, but I'll be amazed if I do. Anyways, so moving on to the fourth and final question, and it also comes in from AS19, and he says, "What are your inspirations for the future?" And that's in YouTube and in live. Sorry, and so you've touched on both of them very briefly. But what is your main goal in YouTube? Like, what would you love to get to here? And obviously in your life, you're doing journalism. What's kind of the ultimate goal in Formula One?
So I'd say my ultimate goal on YouTube would be to hit 100,000 subscribers. I think that would be amazing if I ever did that. I would just be genuinely like a dream come true for when I was like 13, just thinking, wow, all these guys making videos and stuff, I wish I could do that. So that would be great, but genuinely just on the platform in the near future, obviously I don't think 100,000 is going to be in the near future. Possibly, you never know, never say never, but in the near future, I reckon just continuing to make content that I enjoy and that I think's genuinely funny with people that I'm making new friends and just having a good time, really. And as long as I enjoy it, I'm going to continue doing it. But in general, in life, I really wasn't sure of what I was going to be doing in life, even like a year and a half ago. I had no idea. It was definitely going to uni that helped me shape my sort of views on what I wanted to do. And I'm hoping that if YouTube doesn't work out as a career path, I can hopefully move into doing social media content or marketing content or general journalism around motorsport, possibly do something for a Formula One team or work with journalism people such as like Autosport or maybe even WTF1, something like that.
Yeah, definitely sounds good. Well, I always say to Jordan, best thing I've ever heard from Ted Kravitz, or one of the best things, is when he was just doing his notebook and he was stopped by someone and they said, "Oh, are you a presenter?" And he went, "I'm not a presenter, I'm a journalist." And I absolutely loved that. And that's, I'd like to, we call ourselves journalists, it's just a bit of fun, but obviously, I mean, to do journalism in Formula 1 would be absolutely incredible. And obviously, just adding to that, like, if the opportunity came to present on a race like Sky Sports F1, part of their crew, or like the official F1 crew, like Will Buxton, would you rather do that? Do you know? Is that an option for you?
I think that'd be fantastic. I've always been interested. When I used to go to watch my dad's races when I was a kid, I used to love listening to the commentators, and I thought they were brilliant. And the commentators just bring so much to the race. You can't imagine watching a Formula 1 race without having the guys commentating behind it. It just makes it infinitely better. And I think I'm relatively alright in front of the camera. I get nervous a bit, but I think I could do an alright job at that.
In terms of your favourite commentator that you've ever listened to, and that can be like the guy, like the main guy, or just someone behind the scenes, who was your favourite presenter growing up? And also, were you a Channel 4 guy, or a BBC F1 guy, or a Sky Sports guy?
I think I was definitely Sky. I think I've got behind their coverage a lot more, and I like their graphics and all stuff like that. But in terms of commentator, definitely Murray Walker. I think he's just fantastic. Just how he portrays himself on the mic is amazing. And I actually was lucky enough, I was doing work experience last summer, and I was lucky enough to meet him and have a little chat with him and just tell him how much he'd inspired me. So he's a lovely bloke. So even at the age he is, he's just lovely.
Wow, that's amazing.
Wow,
that's truly awesome. Yeah, I think I would like to meet Murray Walker one day. That'd be awesome. Right, next up we've got some quickfire questions for you, Meerkat.
God.
It's just like a 50-50 kind of thing. We'll put to you two topics, two things, and you've just got to pretty much choose one of them, really.
Okay.
Sound good? Right.
Yeah, that's cool.
Right, off we go. Senna or Prost?
Senna.
Wet or dry?
Wet.
Alexander or Sergey?
Alexander.
Hamilton or Vettel?
Hamilton.
Red sauce or brown sauce?
Sorry?
Red sauce or brown sauce?
Ah, okay, right. So ketchup, ketchup.
Yeah. Monaco or Monza?
Monza.
Up early or lie in?
Lie in.
Cats or dogs?
Cats.
Twitter or Instagram?
Instagram.
Charles Leclerc or Max Verstappen?
Charles Leclerc.
Podcast or vlog?
Oh, podcast.
And the last one caused a bit of stir in the last time we said this. Socks on first or trousers on first?
Oh, that is an interesting one. I don't know. I'm not sure I really think about it. I'd probably say trousers on first.
Trousers on first.
That's a sensible one.
The first time we put this to the guest was it was actually a debate that happened during the week, and we said this to the late breaking boys, and all hell broke loose. All hell broke loose at the end of it, and I'm like, we're keeping that in.
It wasn't all hell broke loose. It was just a little bit of confusion. Like, why would you put your socks on first
exactly?
before
They were
your
just
trousers?
like, what? Why? It was like, it was just like loads and loads of questions aroused from that. But that was your quickfire questions.
Anyway, so the last thing we're going to do with firstly, before I say this, in terms of Alexander or Sergey, Jordan, I thought they were great questions in terms of, I don't know if everyone got that, but that's because of the meerkats, I imagine, because of the meerkats on the telly.
I see.
That was good. I like that one.
That was good. I was thinking about it for a second,
also,
and I was like, I don't know, I don't really like Sergei Sorokin, and I was like, oh wait, he's talking about meerkats.
Alexander Albon or Sergei Sorokin. Oh well, that's a difficult one. And also as well, red sauce or brown sauce. John, he didn't even answer it last time, so at least he gave us an answer.
Didn't he?
He said mayonnaise. That's right. I don't know, mayonnaise. That's worse than saying that's worse. That's like the equivalent of saying I put my hat on first before my trousers on.
Yeah, that's
I'm
weird.
outside.
Nah, mayonnaise only goes in sandwiches. It should not be going with chips.
No.
I don't like mayonnaise. Anyways, so the last thing we're going to ask you is your F1 Dream Team. Of course, that's what we ask every single guest. So, for your F1 Dream Team, I'm going to need you to name 2 drivers, past or present. This is in all these options are throughout the whole 70 years of Formula 1. So, 2 drivers, a team, a car, and a team principal, and what your team will be called, and a sponsor. That wasn't originally there, but I'm going to say I want a sponsor from you. That would be a good answer. So 2 drivers, a car, a team name, a team boss, and a sponsor.
Okay, so yeah, you told me before that it was going to be F1 Dream Team, and I was like, what are you going to ask me? Because if you're going to ask me strategist or something, I'm going to have absolutely no idea. But
No.
okay, I can answer all that. So I was thinking for team boss, I would go with Toto Wolff.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he'd be good. And as my drivers even, I went with James Hunt, because I just think he's got top quality banter and he clearly has the skill to win. And yeah, just the general ethos of sex is the breakfast of champions and stuff like that. I think that was hilarious. And my second driver, I went with Ayrton Senna, just because he's just a legend. He's just a fantastic legend, and nothing really else to say. For the car, I reckon I'd have to go with something early 2000s. That definitely resonates with me the most. I'd probably say, I was thinking the Ferrari F2004, but I'd have to go with the Renault from the same year. I'm not sure of the exact name or whatever. But yeah, the Renault from 2004, 2005, that sort of car. And then for a sponsor, I think I'd go with BWT, because I love the pink.
A pink Renault.
A pink Renault. I think that looked great.
And what would be your team name?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. What would it be called? I think, as I said earlier, so my nickname's Ratters. So I think when my dad used to race and we had our own team, it was called Ratters Racing. So I think I'd have to call it that.
Ratters Racing Point. BWT?
No,
With
please.
No?
No.
Oh, okay, I tried.
Definitely not. Definitely not. We're not having any association with Lawrence Stroll, thank you very much.
Oh, alright, okay. that. Yeah, some good choices, yeah. Yeah, popular. I think Total Wolf has been named a couple of times as well. I think 1 or 2 people have said the R. I think it's the R25 or the R26 or whatever it is for the Renault back in the 04, 05, but obviously 06 days as well. So obviously, yeah, pretty good team. But that's the end of the interview, Meerkat. Massive thanks for coming on as well, taking some time out to talk to us, and of course knowing a bit more about you as well. So yeah, just thank you so much for coming on.
No problem at all, mate. Thank you very much for having me on. Hopefully I haven't bored you too much talking about myself, but yeah, it was great to be on, answering a few questions with you guys, and you've been lovely boys. So everyone make sure you subscribe to F1 Debate Show down below.
Oh, thank you very much. And of course, same goes to Meerkat. If you haven't already came across this channel, please go and check it out. Links will be in the description below, and of course, links to his Twitter as well. Go and follow him as well on social media. I think Instagram as well. You're active on Instagram?
Yeah, well, not currently because I'm banned for some stupid reason, but yes, I will be once this is out.
Well, yeah, we'll leave a link to them in the description below. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening as well, and of course, go and check out our other episodes that we have released on F1 Online Decoded. More to come as well. Looking forward to talking to those kind of guests, and of course, for you guys to know who those guests are going to be. Of course, still no Formula One, but however, content will not be drying up on this channel, and of course go and check out channels like Meerkat as well, who will of course be doing other forms of content in some shape or form. We will be, and of course the big F1 YouTube community will be as well. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening. Watch what you're doing, and until next time, we'll see you later.
See you later, guys.